If you scan the headlines these days, it's easy to be discouraged about some of the bad things going on in the world today, including here in America. But one man who has adopted this country as a grateful American is Christian author and entrepreneur Neil Mammen. He believes that as a nation, we could get back on the right track if we recover America's founding principles and implement them.
Can America be reclaimed for Christ? Absolutely. In fact, I think the onus is going to be upon us pastors to do that job. If you look back into the history of Judah and Israel, you'll see that it was the prophets who reached out to the people, and if the prophets could convince the people to turn away from their sins, God extended their time of freedom and away from the Babylonian exile.
During our talk with Neil Mammen, author of 40 Days Towards a More Godly Nation, Why Only Churches Can Lead Us to a Happier, Healthier, Safer, and Mutually Prosperous America, we asked, did Christianity have anything to do with the founding of America?
Well, the amazing thing about the founding of America, it's based on biblical principles. And I want to tell everybody from other countries, if you want to be as successful as America, you should be founded on biblical principles. America isn't successful because of something special about America, the land. It's special about the people who founded America on biblical principles. So you can go to Uganda and create a nation founded on Christian principles and be just as successful as America. You could go to any other nation, and if you can get enough Christians locally to be active in the formation of their government and get rid of the corruption and get rid of the oligarchies and get rid of all these things, that country will also be as successful as America.
Here is a scene from our award-winning Providence Forum film, endowed by their creator.
The Declaration of Independence mentions God 4 times, and it sets forth 28 charges against King George III, 19 of which were stated in the South Carolina Constitution, which preceded the Declaration. After cataloging the King's egregious actions, the Declaration proclaims,
"A prince whose character is thus marked by every act which may define a tyrant is unfit to be the ruler of a free people." Declaration of Independence.
Every single one of the issues mentioned by Thomas Jefferson in the Declaration of Independence had been preached from American pulpits in New England before 1763. So when you look at the document known as our Declaration of Independence, the principles that we stand for and founded our nation upon, all of those had been declared by New England preachers previous to 1763.
After such an amazing beginning, one wonders, where did America go wrong?
So where America went wrong is we let the communists and the Marxists and the atheists, who plainly declared their intentions to destroy America and to make us more of a Marxist follower nation, they took over our schools, they took over our universities, and they've been trying to take over our corporations. In many cases they have, and they've taken over the media, and they've taken over the government. So the question is, are Christians going to stop this? And the place where you start, I believe, is in the schools. You have to get the kids out of government schools, and you've got to take them into the home and do homeschooling. There's a problem with homeschooling is that if both parents work, because of the tax system, both parents have to work, they can't afford to have one parent at home. And unless they're making a significant amount of money, they can't afford the $15,000 to send their kids to a private school or a Christian school. So the solution to that is what we call Revive Academies. And you can go to reviveacademies.org, and it'll kind of give you an idea of what we're doing. And basically is we want to be the Uber of schools. What we have something called reviveacademies.com. Just go to the website. And what it does is allows the church to start up classrooms. It's a ministry of the church. They allow classrooms to be used by tutors that then can teach, and parents can go and hire these tutors and pay them through the app. It's just like Uber, except now you're paying the teachers directly and the church is only providing a space, and homeschool moms can now teach and make almost $90,000 a year just from teaching, and only costs the parent $4,500 a child. The kids are getting a biblical curriculum that we have authorized and approved of, and they can go 5 days a week from 8 o'clock to 5 p.m.
This is America! There are no kings! This is America! There are no kings! This is America! There are no kings!
I believe that America's only options are truly revival or ruin, because there is no staying stable. You either are going downhill or you're going uphill. Either you're following the Lord and you're growing and expanding and being prosperous, or you're disobeying God and you are plummeting down to Gomorrah, going to destruction.
We asked Neil, are you optimistic or pessimistic about America's future?
Am I optimistic? Well, I am somewhere in the middle. It depends on how many pastors we can convince, because this has never been a political battle. This has never been a difference between red and blue states. This has always been a spiritual battle, because the person who wants to control government is Lucifer. This is a battle between good and evil, and if the pastors are the ones to take their place in this battle, then we will win 100%.
Neil Mammen is so right to encourage us as Americans to get back to our founding principles. George Washington, the father of our country, said we can never hope to be a happy nation unless we imitate Christ. 100 years ago, Calvin Coolidge, our 30th president, said, quote, "The strength of our country is the strength of its religious convictions. The foundations of our society and our government rest so much on the teachings of the Bible that it would be difficult to support them if faith in these teachings would cease to be practically universal in our country," end quote. Wow. We need to remember God in modern America because He is the source of our rights and freedoms. For Providence Forum, a division of Coral Ridge Ministries, I'm Dr. Jerry Newcomb.